Hey guys, it's Raptor, and welcome to World of Warships. Today I have the privilege of featuring one of my good friends' replays in his Ryujo, Freckled Hydra 54, and another one of my good friends, Sudden Death. Now both of these people are clanmates of mine, World of Tanks clan, but we also enjoy playing World of Warships, and today he sent me a replay in his that of a game that he had in his Ryuho, and I decided I would make a video of it. Now, this game is going to showcase a little bit of good teamwork between him and the other carrier on his team, the Tier 7 Japanese aircraft carrier, the Hiryu. And his team, or at least his carriers, the carriers on his team, are at quite a big disadvantage because the enemy team has two American carriers. So they have a Tier 7 Ranger and a Tier 6 Independence. And the advantage that those two ships have over the Japanese Tier 6 and 7 are that they have more fighter aircraft. So if Alex, the Hikiryu, and Freckled don't play this right, it could go very wrong very quickly. Now, as you can see, the Hiryu has two fighter squadrons, and Freckled's Ryuho only has one. But Freckled's Ryuho also gets two dive bombers and two torpedo bomber squadrons. So, we shall see how things play out. And as you can see as well, Sudden Death is in, if I take a quick look here, is in the Tier 6 French battleship, the Dunkirk. Now back to Freckled. So here, as you can see, he's bringing his fighters over in the same general area as the Hiryus. So him and Hiryu aren't going to work super closely together, but at the points where they do, it works out really, really well. Now, as of yet, Freckled hasn't found anything to shoot at. Or I should say dive bomb or torpedo bomb. But he is patiently waiting because he does not want his planes to fall into a trap of American fighters. Because those American fighter squadrons can wreck his planes very, very quickly, and he does not want that at all. Now, as you can see here, Alex is suggesting that Freckled link up with him, and he sends his stuff over there. He sees that dive bomber squadron, but it starts running away, so he does not give chase, because as I said before, he doesn't want any of his planes to be attacked, if at all possible, by those American fighters. So here, Alex vectors his planes to go over on the 1-2 line, and Freckled keeps his planes in the same general area. And now, Freckled spots the Rangers fighters going along the A line, trying to be sneaky there, and he alerts Alex of them. Now, he pulls his attack aircraft away from those fighters because he does not want them to strafe them. And strafing is a very useful tactic for fighters. But this Ranger was not the smartest. He just brought his two fighter squadrons right over an Omaha, and he's about to bring them over a Pensacola, a Nagato, and a Colorado. That was the worst decision that Ranger made, because his fighters just got wrecked by that Pensacola and the combined firepower of the two battleships as well that were right there. The Pensacola has a buffed AA because it's a cruiser, and it gets a cooldown that lets it buff its AA even more for a short period of time, and that's what that Pensacola did. When the Ranger put his planes over him, he popped that off, and he immediately started doing, I believe it's twice the damage that his AA guns would normally do to his planes. Now, just there, a second ago, you saw Freckled, and right here he's trying to do it again on those fighters. But you saw him do a strafing run on the torpedo bombers that were attacking the Nagato. Now, he didn't get them in time to save the Nagato, but he did kill them, which is good. And that is what a strafing run will do. It will do a lot of damage in a very small area, but it doesn't discern between friendly planes and enemy planes. As you will see later on in the replay, he does use a strafing run over a group of friendly and enemy planes to take out the enemy planes, so he won't have to worry about them quite as much anymore. And you will see it is a very effective tactic, considering that the Japanese aircraft carriers can sacrifice some of their planes and still be able to resupply them. And the American carriers can't do that quite so well. So here it looks like he wants to go and attack the Colorado, because the Colorado, as one of his teammates pointed out earlier, doesn't have very good AA because he is stock. But, as you can see, one of the aircraft carriers is keeping his fighters over him, kind of protecting him, but it does not save him from the Allied Colorado, as you can see. So here, he's just kind of keeping his fighters, looking for any targets of opportunity. And as you can see, Alex there asked the team if they would kill the enemy Texas. Now, the Texas is a particularly bad thing to run into when you're a carrier because it has very good anti-air for a battleship. In fact, it has the best anti-air, I believe, of any tier 5 ship. Now here he goes again. He's going to do a strafing run on these dive bombers, and as you can see, that did a lot of damage really quickly and shot down all 4 of what was remaining of that squadron. And he vectors his fighters off to attack the torpedo bombers as well, but they are about to run out of ammunition. As you see, there they go right there. They just ran out of ammunition, and they're going back to the ship to rearm. Now, he hasn't yet attacked anything, but he's about to. He sees the 2 battleships over by the 3-4 line, and yeah, he sees the Bayern and the Texas. Now, what he's going to do here is he's going to attack the Bayern with his torpedo bombers and attack the Texas with his dive bombers. Unfortunately, there's a Nicholas that's laying a smokescreen for the Bayern, so Freckle does miss the torpedoes, but he does not miss the Texas with his dive bombers. And as you can see, he micromanages them as much as possible to where he can get the most hits. And as you saw, he got 2 hits, he killed him, and he got 1 fire right before the Texas died. So that's 1 kill for Freckled and 1 kill for Alex. While Freckled was busy over on the other side of the map, Alex picked himself up a Farragut kill, which is a very valuable target, seeing that it is a American destroyer, which the American destroyers have better guns, they just have worse torpedoes than the Japanese destroyers do. Japanese destroyers are all about stealth and long-range torpedoes. American destroyers are more gunboats than they are torpedo boats. So here, Freckled and Alex are using their fighters to shield their planes as they rearm and land, which is a very, very good tactic to use here. And Alex is asking Freckled to attack one of the enemy CVs, and he's also giving him advice to put his planes, as Alex has done, along the A line to make them a little bit harder to spot for the enemy carriers if they're not paying attention. So, as you can see, Freckled is On the move, he is not staying anywhere near where that Nicholas was last spotted. And soon, as you're going to see, Alex is going to start moving as well. Because I believe he gets spotted by that Nicholas, and he doesn't want any of that. So here, he's just kind of... Yeah, there it is. Alex has now been spotted, and he is alerting Freckled to that to make sure he knows, and he's telling him he should move, although Freckled was already one step ahead of Alex, and he had moved a long time ago. So now what Freckled is doing, since Alex's planes are all the way on the other side of the map, Freckled is putting his planes in a position where they can protect Alex and himself from this Nicholas. Now the good thing is, the Nagato there is helping quite a bit, and he gets some nice solid hits on this Nicholas. I don't know if the Nagato was firing HE or armor piercing, but either way, he does a lot of damage right there to the Nicholas, and that helps Freckled get quite a bit of damage on him. He got one bomb hit, and as you can see, the enemy carriers are trying to keep him from torping that Nicholas, but either way, it doesn't matter, because the Nagato finished off the Nicholas with his secondaries. And as you can see, Freckled's torpedoes probably would have finished him off if the Nagato didn't. Now right here is where Freckled uses a strafing run on allied and enemy planes, but in the end, his team comes out on top because, as you can see right there, he just took out essentially 2 squadrons of enemy planes for 2 squadrons, or no, excuse me, 1 squadron of their own planes. And that is a good trade because, like I said earlier, the Japanese aircraft carriers can replace their planes a lot or more times than an American carrier can. So right here, this Ranger, those are probably his last set of fighters that he can put out. But the Hiryu and Freckled's Ryujo still have enough planes to launch one and a half, actually, more fighters. So they can afford to lose a few. And as you can see, Freckled's fighters have now disengaged, seeing as they have run out of ammunition, and his attack aircraft are now launching, seeing as they are now rearmed and ready. Now, as you can see, he already had a torpedo bomber squadron going for that Ranger, but the Ranger has already died, so he's going to vector them off to attack the Independence instead. And as you can see, the Independence has some dive bombers that are coming into land right now. So here, he's going to manual drop on the Independence, making his torpedo drop more accurate, and the likelihood of him hitting the target a lot higher. He hits the Independence with 2 torpedoes and causes some flooding, and the Independence starts attacking his torpedo bombers that have just dropped on him with his fighters. And it appears that he might lose that squadron. He does. Okay. So he did lose that torpedo bomber squadron, but like I said, Japanese carriers can replace their squadrons more than an American can. So he's sending the rest of his attack aircraft in, and as you can see, the Koenig is beating that Scharnhorst over there as Freckled zooms in on it. Now right here, he's going to attack the Independence from the front with dive bombers, and he's micromanaging them, trying to get as tight a spread as possible. He hits with 4 dive bombs, excuse me, and sets 2 fires. Now here, he manual drops on the Independence, and those torpedoes would have killed him had the friendly Furataka not finished him off before he could. And right here, the enemy Congo is about to get nuked. There he goes. And that's the end of this replay. I hope you guys enjoyed, and as you can see, he did 26,000 damage that the damage counter recorded. He shot down 19 planes, got 7 bomb hits, 1 kill, 4 fires, 1 incapacitation, 2 torpedo hits, and 1 flooding. And as you saw, him and Alex, the other aircraft carrier, worked quite well together indeed to take on the more powerful force of the American carriers. And they did a really good job. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one.